Hey, beer digesters. I'm going to do a Firestone Walker beer for the first time today. It's their brand new series of revolving IPAs called Luponic Distortion. And this one is awesome because it was canned 13 days ago. And Firestone doesn't always get here that fast. I really have enjoyed their Easy Jack when I found it very fresh around these parts. And also seems like I really like these series of different hops, slightly different hop malt IPAs. The Night Shift Morph has gotten really, really good recently when they've been using sort of rarer hops combined with New Zealand or Australian hops. I like actually the Morphs by Night Shift more than on the other IPAs they do. So this one, I guess they're going to release another one in 90 days. And they don't tell you anything much about the hops or the flavor of this beer. I looked at reviews, and there's no real consensus on exactly what the flavor is, at least from the few that I read, except that it is getting pretty good ratings. It's probably just in part because everyone who's rated it until now has drank a beer IPA that's under 2 weeks old. It's 5.9% alcohol, and yeah, they just say experimental hops, which is cool because a lot of the experimental hops coming out these days are really good, really interesting. The hop growers know what they're doing, and they know that people are looking for hops with new kinds of flavors, pushing what we believe hops can taste like, and pushing also what we want to taste on our tongues. I know that it will not be quite the hazy, juicy New England style IPA. It's actually completely filtered, it looks like. But Firestone manages to make some really good hoppy beers, even that are very filtered. Like that is almost looks like a pilsner. But I'm getting some interesting aromas already, though. Nice head, but medium carbonation. You can see through it. Yeah, like there's not even a touch of haze in there or any particulates that I can even see. But it's a big, kind of sweet kiwi, a little bit of lime flavor, which is actually what I read in someone's review of this beer, and I think that actually describes it pretty well. Like kind of lime candy. It's a little hard to describe, actually. It's really, really nice, though. Kind of a key lime pie. It's got a cakey, sort of sweet marshmallow, almost meringue thing. Yeah, I think key lime pie describes it pretty well. It's not quite creamy, but it has this candy pie cakey thing, marshmallowy thing that I get from Citra sometimes. And the head is just sticking around really nicely. Some good lacing, very hoppy beer, I can tell. But a lot of candy aromas in there. I'm not getting much oniony, weird, skunky, sweaty stuff going on. But it is extremely cold. I over chilled this can maybe a little bit. Very light body. A similar flavors. Just adds a little bit of a spiciness in the flavor. Otherwise, it's pretty similar. I'm getting a touch more malt. Which kind of reminds me of a sort of pie crust sort of thing, but not buttery. There's no diacetyl going on, but just a little bit of a biscuity maltiness that's actually matching up nicely with the sort of key lime pie topping, you might say, from the aroma. And it's a little bit peppery. Kind of a almost clove, peppery, bitter orange, bergamot sort of finish is happening. So just a touch of musk. It's starting to show up. It might get stronger as it gets warm after I finish this review. But it is mostly fruity when you first pour it and smell it. Now there's just a hint of heat. I think is bringing out some of the spiciness of it. But at first it was like super, super fruity. A pretty light body. And not very much bitterness. Just a hint of a kind of woody cedar sort of bitter finish that I've noticed from Idaho 7 and El Dorado hops, but not quite as intense as those ones. Yeah, that's very nice. And if it were more bitter, it might be a little too woody in the finish. But it's amazing. It's kind of a juicy green fruit flavor of lime and kiwi a little bit. I don't know if I would say cucumber. Maybe a little bit. And that it's pretty cool and refreshing. It's still very cold though, and I'm not noticing like any of that herbal arugula or something like scallion that I might get, especially from mosaic IPAs. It's not that kind of combination of herb salad and tropical mango. This is a little different. It isn't so far off, but just veers a little bit down a different kind of myrcene oil world. But it'll be interesting to see how this changes once it gets a little bit less fresh. It might be a little more shelf stable since there's no yeast in it, because I think when you're drinking a beer that has lots of yeast in suspension, there's a lot of flavor sticking to the yeast and coming out, so that when you take it all the yeast out, it's going to kind of stay the same for a while. And also it's great they put it in cans, so I bet, this is great. They're going to release a new one of these every 90 days, so I'll always, every month or so, I'll be able to get a new fresh great Firestone beer with some experimental hops. And I hope that every great hoppy beer brewery starts doing this, because it's fun to try these new flavors and figure them out. Yeah, it's not quite in the New England style that I really love. It's not super juicy, but I enjoy the sort of adventurous, slightly different flavors from the hops a lot. And I like how it's not too strong nor sweet. 5.9% alcohol, I think is pretty good for displaying these hops, because these are kind of more refreshing flavors rather than a big sweet juicy drink. This isn't orange and peach. There might be some sort of nectarine, unripe nectarine a little bit, something like that. But I think, key lime, a little bit of a Sprite thing going on. It's spritzy, and very light-bodied, like a Sprite or a 7-Up might be. I'm not really getting much grapefruit, I don't think. No, it just goes down a different route. Like maybe a little bit, but it would be like grapefruit with a lot of lime added to it. But it's very nice. It's not gonna blow the house down, but I'm not regretting buying a full 6-pack of this, especially because it's so fresh and pretty reasonably priced. Excuse me, but I'm probably gonna go for like a 8.1 or something for this beer. It's definitely worth any hop lover's time. Oof. It's a little more carbonated than I thought it was, apparently. Or 81, I guess. 81 out of 100 for the Firestone Luponic Distortion Revolution #1, the first in the series.